You see me in a suit on TV handing out millions of dollars, looking like another just buttoned up executive. But it wasn't always like that. You see, I had a secret tool. It was there for me when I had absolutely nothing, when I thought I was nothing, until it led me to everything. You may think it's your biggest weakness, but if you wield it properly, it will definitely be the key to your success. This is the power of broke. Thank you for joining me. My Power of Broke interviews with amazing individuals who have contributed to my book and to my life. I'm here with my friend, Harley Finkelstein, who is the CPO of Shopify. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for you being here as well. So, you know, I just like to have a free-flow dialogue. I've talked to a lot of CEOs, VIPs, and everyday influencers, people who have changed my life and changed the lives of many others. I met you 3-4 years ago. You called me up, or my guys called you up. I don't even know how that happened. And we started talking about entrepreneurship. Now, at that time, you know, people weren't necessarily using platforms to sell their goods that easily. I was already in my business. It was a time when I was saying, hey, can somebody build a website for me and a way to sell online? And it was $50,000, $75,000, maybe because I was just a sucker.
Yeah. Or you needed an engineering degree.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Find Shopify. Amazing. We start doing this build a business competition where there's about 10 silos, and you know, there's cosmetics, or there's fashion, and there's electronics. And then everybody who sells the most amount of product within opening a store within a year gets to have a mentor. I happen to have been the mentor in fashion. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do this, but I love the platform. It looks very interesting. I then meet the winners of my category. People doing 1.5 million, $2 million off of starting a business out of nowhere.
Yeah. No experience, no capital.
No nothing, right? And this is just the ones who won. It doesn't mean that if the person who won, who did 1.9, there wasn't a bunch of people that did 1.5,
who didn't win, right?
1 million, right? My eyes start to open to this, and I go, wow. Next year comes another bunch of people. Next year comes another bunch of people. And I start to realize at that point that the power is going back to the people. For many years, my business, I had to worry about, does the store want the goods? Are they going to test it? Who's going to buy it? I don't even know who bought it after that. Was it the mother, the kid, the dad? I didn't know how to market to them. I didn't know anything, and now I was at the mercy of the store. I bring in $1 million worth of product. The store wants $10,000. I'm screwed. I'm out of business. I got to sell the house, the cat, and the dog. Now you have given the power back to the people, and you have seen entrepreneurs empower themselves. So that's, first of all, amazing. But I want to now talk about the backstory. You didn't come from much. You then, you know, went through life, and you busted your butt to become an attorney. Normally, somebody spends their life to get to that level. They probably have school loans. They probably have a lot of stuff going on. They at least go, let me give this a shot for a long period of time. And/or I worked so hard, how dare I stop it all? And you stop it all. But talk about growing up. You didn't have much, right?
Yeah. So growing up, I mean, I had a roof over my head, and we always had food on the table. My parents provided, but we weren't rich by any means. Right. But I was always an entrepreneur. There was always something that I really, I loved about entrepreneurship. I loved the idea of creating something from nothing. Right. The problem was, for so long, in order to be an entrepreneur, you needed capital. Capital was the most important tool, or the most important catalyst for entrepreneurship. And unless you had money, or you had a rich father, or a famous last name, it was really difficult. Right. And I think what's happened since I was 13 years old and I first started DJing, which is really my first business, was that technology sort of democratized business and entrepreneurship. Right. In 2004 or so, we tried to sell snowboards on the internet. And in 2004, this is after law school, right? Okay. I mean, I was DJing when I was a kid, and that was really just my first taste of it. I sold T-shirts, but in 2004 or so, we were trying to sell snowboards on the internet. And in 2004, there was 2 ways to sell a product online. One way was to spend a couple $100,000 in some big enterprise software package. Another way was to sell it on eBay or something like that. And we didn't have a couple $100,000 to sell it on, to have our own e-commerce store. Couldn't afford that. Right. And selling it on a platform or marketplace, we didn't feel was very scalable. And so we wrote our own piece of software to sell these snowboards. And very quickly we realized that maybe some other people want to use our software to sell their own.
But who wrote the software?
So Toby Lutke, our CEO, wrote the software.
Okay, and so was he a buddy?
He was a friend of mine. He lived in Ottawa, and so did I, and we met, and he wanted to sell snowboards, and he was frustrated by the software that was on the market.
But he had went to school for?
No, not even. He dropped out of, he never went to university. He was a high school graduate in Germany. He moved to Canada because he met a girl there, and he just wanted to sell snowboards.
Well, because a lot of people would casually, when you throw out there, some people don't realize how, whether easy or hard it is, when you go, yeah, so we just wrote a piece of software. That, to some people who just are looking for reasons why they can't get somewhere, would say, I don't have the money for software, or I don't know how to write. He just learned how to do it. He
just learned how to do it.
Okay.
He read the books, he studied and figured out how to do it. He had some good mentors that he picked up, and he wrote this piece of software. And about a year later, he realized that selling snowboards was a good idea, but maybe the software underlying the snowboard business was a great idea.